Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking all about this new moon in Taurus taking place on the 19th of May. Before we get into this, I tried to record this video about this time last week. It was next Saturday or last Saturday. Sorry. Yeah, it was last Saturday. And unfortunately, I was having a lot of issues to do with the connection. So we're back again, postponed it to today. And I'm actually quite glad that I postponed it until today because Mercury has station direct. So, yay, Mercury is direct in Taurus. So we will be touching on that, of course, today. But yes, thank you so much for your patience. If it was that you tried to tune in last week and you didn't get a video. So here we are. Today we're going to be talking all about this new moon. But yeah, before we do get into this, certainly make sure to give this video a like if you do like it. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. And yeah, I make videos all about astrology. And you can go to my website, hannahselsewhere.com, if you are interested in any of my services. I also have practical eBooks, a guide, and merch available as well. So, yes, with all of those introductions out of the way, let's get into the new moon in the Taurus. So, with that, I want to make you aware of the Cosmic Warriors Club. If you're interested in joining the Cosmic Warriors Club, there's a lot of extra content there, extra videos talking about the transits, even looking at your monthly horoscopes, your weekly horoscopes, new moon, full moon reports, even the new moon report there for Taurus is up. And there's also that Jupiter in Taurus video available, and a lot of other interesting videos there. So there's plenty of information to look up there, to find there. And of course, there will be a lot more to come. So yeah, head on over to cosmicwarriorsclub.com if you're interested. Hello, Danielle. How are you doing? I'm so glad that you could make this session today. I know that last week you were saying that you were kind of glad that things were postponed because you couldn't make it. So yeah, I'm glad that you can make this one. And I believe, of course, you have that Taurus rising. So this one is going to be really great for you, especially with even Jupiter entering your first house, Danielle. So exciting, very exciting. Hello, Jason. Welcome. You've got a Virgo rising. Interesting. I also have a Virgo rising. So snap. But yeah, so this is basically an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. So, as you can see here, the sun and moon will be at 28 degrees in the sign of Taurus, and then they will make this sextile to Mars in Cancer. Now, Mars in Cancer will be at 29 degrees, so looking at it being a critical degree because, it looks at the final push, so to speak. But then the thing is, as soon as Mars makes its final degree in Cancer, it's going to then be in Leo, and then it's going to form this T-square with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And then also Jupiter in Taurus. And then that brings me on to Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus will be at 0 degrees there in Taurus whilst this new moon in Taurus is taking place. So that's a very potent, powerful degree there, new beginnings. So we will talk more about that, but then there will also be that conjunction to the North Node and Mercury as well. Another thing is the sun and moon will sextile Neptune in Pisces, and then Neptune will trine Mars in Cancer. And then if you also look over, Saturn will be in Pisces there, sextile Mercury in Taurus, okay? And then Saturn will also trine Venus in Cancer. So we're noticing here how big key players during this new moon are Taurus, Pisces, and Cancer. And then another thing is Uranus and Mercury will be in Taurus, making that sextile to Venus as well. So we're going to break all of this down today. That's what I like to do here. But I just like to give a run through of, the different parts of the chart or parts of the aspects here. And then also Chiron will be in Aries, making a square to Venus in Cancer. So interesting to think about. A lot going on, but there is some information that I want to discuss before we get into the details of things. Hello, Amber. Welcome. Yes, I am doing well. Thank you. How are you doing, Amber? Good to see you here. And then I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, the Gobal. I'm unsure of how to pronounce your name. But welcome. Yes, so Aries will be discussed throughout this video. Right. So now that we have explored this overview, do you know what? I just want to take a moment. I want to take a moment because things have been happening. Okay. Please excuse me, by the way. I have like quite a sore shoulder. My right shoulder is quite sore. I think I might have slept on it wrong or something, but yeah, it's kind of it's a bit painful. Anyway, so I want to take a moment and I want to think about how Mercury has stationed direct today in Taurus. And so thinking here about what you have perhaps learned from this retrograde in Taurus over the last few weeks. And then as well, last week when I went to record this exact same video, we literally just experienced the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And that was on the 5th. And can I just say that over the past week, which is why I'm really glad that I left recording this until today, but over the last week, many revelations have come up within my life, and I think I'm slowly, surely moving past the intensities that came with that lunar eclipse in Scorpio. I didn't think it would be as powerful as it was for me personally, but then it really surprised me. Of course, Uranus was a part of it as well. But yeah, it really surprised me and knocked me sideways. You know, it kind of resulted in me feeling quite low and worrying a lot, or recognizing even what I needed to let go of, because those things that I was holding on to were contributing to my worry, to my stress, to my fears. Yeah, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, I would say, sort of smacked me in the face and said, wake up. Would you just wake up? Would you just stop this repeated cycle that you're in? You need to stop this right now. And, you know, maybe that was something that a lot of us experienced. It was this whole thing of, right, whatever you're holding on to here, whatever you're holding on to that is leading to stagnation and resistance and stubbornness, that needs to go. That needs to die. Right? You know, Scorpio energy is about death and rebirth. So yeah, no, of course I'm not suggesting that it's like this, you know, this magic poof where it just goes away. You know, the thing that you hold on to, it doesn't just go away, or the changes that you want to make, they don't just happen overnight. But I still think that the Scorpio energy was coming along and really trying to remind us the importance of letting go, the importance of going through a death and rebirth so that we can change, hopefully for the better. And again, there was that Uranus influence coming in to the equation. And then I also think with Mercury, a big theme for me, and perhaps for a lot of you, is the importance of not rushing, the importance of not moving so quickly and rushing through life, and actually getting to this place where we're not wishing our lives away. We're not just continuously going at this fast speed, this fast pace to get to the next level, get to the next thing, to get to the next thing. It's more about, how can I enjoy the moment to moment reality? How can I try and process things slowly and steadily, and appreciate even where I am at now, and um, recognizing just the importance of living in the present. And then I would also say the importance of rest, relaxation, and the importance of tuning into the body. These types of things, I know for me, have really come up. And what I'm trying to sort of move away from within my own life is letting go of this notion that I need to stress myself out about things, when in actuality, the way I am is valuable enough, and I don't need to push myself so hard to show other people my worth, to show them my value. I guess you could say that Venus retrograde in Leo, which will be coming up here in the next couple of months, that I think is specifically going to look at these types of themes that I mentioned. But still, Taurus is Venus ruled. And yeah, it's, I guess with Mercury retrograde, it was looking at that mindset, that mindset that we have about our value, our worth. And yeah, also the importance of, if we need to sort of slow down and rest and recharge and relax, then it's giving ourselves the permission to do that. Of course, I understand that realistically, practically speaking, that may not be the case for a lot of people, but I just wanted to share some of my own sort of experiences. And the thing about this too is Mercury will still be in its shadow period until the end of May. So whatever came up for you, in respect of your values, in respect of practical communication, in respect of being a patient listener, perhaps, then yeah, whatever came up for you in respect of these things, you're going to still mull these things over the next few weeks and kind of implement them, and just take your time. Take your time to slowly allow for certain lessons you learned over the last few weeks to truly, digest, to sit with you. Yeah. Slow and steady, says Taurus energy. Okay. Hi, Amy. Welcome. Welcome. And Stolas, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome to you. You had a similar experience with the eclipse. So much worry came up for you too. Well, you know what? I hope you're feeling a little bit calmer now. And I think that as we start to sort of move away from the eclipse season, things will start to mellow out a little bit. And I actually think that the new moon in Taurus is going to give us an opportunity to experience that, because this leads me within itself onto what I want to talk about. So keep in mind here that we have been experiencing these eclipses in both Taurus and Scorpio since November 2021. And we will also experience a lunar eclipse in Taurus at the end of October this year. But this is a new moon in Taurus. This is not a solar eclipse in Taurus, it's a new moon in Taurus. And this new moon in Taurus is taking place at 28 degrees, equivalating to the number 1 in numerology. Okay, so number 1 represents things like self-motivation, being a pioneer, individuality. You could even look at that as like this message of new beginnings to an extent, because it's the number one. And this is significant too, because of course, like I said, we have been experiencing these eclipses in both Taurus and Scorpio since the end of 2021. And these eclipses have been so powerful and so strong. Eclipses usually are a lot more stronger. They're more significant, I guess you could say. But this new moon, I think, is going to be more mellow, much more lighter, a lighter feel to it. It's pointing toward this new tomorrow when it comes to things like worthiness, contentment, so feelings of contentment, support, and then also thinking about commitments, so commitments within our lives. And really, it's a time to set new intentions to do with these very things. But then keep in mind, there will be that lunar eclipse in Taurus in October, which will sort of close the Taurus Scorpio eclipses, so these set of eclipses. But this new moon is ushering in a new practical outlook, a new practical approach. And it's also this moon that is summarizing what we have learned whilst the nodes have been in Taurus and Scorpio. Keep in mind that the North Node and the South Node have been in Taurus and Scorpio from January 2022, but they will then start to leave these signs come July. So they will enter Aries and Libra on the 17th of July. And so really this is about us during this new moon in Taurus thinking over lessons to do with our body, loyalty, our inner security, consistency, thinking about, how grounded we feel, how grounded we are. After all, I mean, we have been trying to embrace these types of qualities since January 2022. So just, yeah, take a moment perhaps to really reflect here, to reflect and go over these factors, these points that I'm making, reflect on the tangible results that you have made, and also show appreciation and gratitude. Like I was suggesting earlier, a big theme that came up for me with Mercury retrograde and with the lunar eclipse in Scorpio was just living in the moment, appreciating the now, not feeling like I need to do everything at once. My Aries moon can be like that. I have that Aries moon energy where I rush through life. But then a big lesson for me came up where it was like, do I want to rush through my life and get to the age of maybe 70 and think, I just pushed, I just rushed. I didn't actually stop to take things in. Taurus energy says, stop and smell the roses. Think about what is good in your life. And I'm really not trying to sound corny or cheesy in this. I really am seeing this as a realistic, practical thing. And even just focusing on feelings of ease and being content and grounding ourselves, connecting with the earth, connecting with our bodies. Yeah, I think this new moon in Taurus is saying, okay, um, it is time to take our time during this new moon. And then, as I say, the North Node will enter Aries in July. So cherish these last few weeks. Cherish these last few weeks. And consider things like patience and being intentional and relaxation and experiencing pleasure. Consider sensuality too. And then, like I said, another significant thing is that the new moon, um, so during the new moon, Jupiter will just have entered Taurus, so it will be 0 degrees. So looking at this turning point, this will highlight this turning point, a new beginning. Jupiter's move into Taurus will look at these greater feelings of ease and will perhaps want to really experience fortune and fruitfulness, sensuality. It's a good time to give thanks, to be grateful. Looking at even being overwhelmed with gratitude, perhaps for some of us, or do you know what, even getting to a point where we genuinely feel happy in our bodies and ourselves, and we feel inwardly hopeful and joyous about our future aspirations, especially future aspirations tied to security or wealth. Um, and then I would also say that our knowledge may be strongly tied to things like music, fashion, beauty, art, these types of things, whilst Jupiter is in Taurus. So yeah, there are many things to consider here. So with that, with the new moon, okay, so new moons, of course, look at new beginnings and planting new seeds, thinking about reflection, the start of a new cycle. And then if we move on to Taurus keywords, these are certain keywords to do with Taurus. And I would say that what this can suggest, okay, is so if we give more information about the new moon and what that can suggest for us, starting something new in respect of patience. My goodness, this is a big one for me personally. And I can't help but think that what I'm about to share in respect of this new moon is going to perhaps resonate more collectively because of the fact that Mercury was retrograde in Taurus. It was retrograde. And I just think that for so many of us, we have been learning these really important lessons to do with patience. When I really reflect on the very, very first time that I was live here on YouTube, and I was so nervous, and I understand that with anything, you're going to practice at it and you're going to perhaps become more comfortable. You're going to learn from it more. But the first time I was on here, I felt just this very nervous, rushing energy of I need to get all of the words out right now. I need to speak really, really fast. But the thing is that that shows up within my everyday life where I have this thing where it's like if I don't speak quick, then people aren't going to listen or people won't want to know or maybe I'll be interrupted or yeah, these things have been coming up quite strongly within my own life with Mercury retrograde. But you see, Mercury retrograde in Taurus has also been showing us just the significance of slower, more thoughtful communication. And also making sure that all areas are covered. So yeah, it's being able to slow things down. And I'm quite I would say I'm quite fortunate in that I'm at a point now where I recognize the value of slower communication. If you're more thoughtful with your words, then that can be really powerful. The one other thing is perhaps we will plant new seeds. By the way, I just want to say this. This does not mean that I'll never speed up when I communicate. Perhaps I will get moments where I'm nervous, I'm scattered, I'm restless. Maybe more Gemini energy will play out one of these days. But I'm just saying that these are certain things to consider, certain things that perhaps came up for us during Mercury retrograde. I'm definitely not perfect. But yeah, as I say, this could be where during this new moon we plant new seeds to do with being grounded, to do with checking in and just saying, okay, like, how does my body feel? How does it feel? These things have been huge, huge. I just think that with the lunar eclipse in Scorpio during the Mercury retrograde in Taurus, it just intensified this. It sort of like intensified this this inner expression of Mercury. And it just sort of said, right, I'm going to wake you up here. I am going to push you to see where you're not grounded. And also thinking about how loyal and consistent we are as people, thinking even about how we show up within our relationships in terms of our loyalty and our consistency and our word. Keeping our word, that is a big thing, I think, when it comes to Taurus and with that Mercury energy in Taurus that we experienced. It's like, well, of course, still experiencing because Mercury's still there, but it's like how committed are we to our word? Do we follow through on our word, or is it just a word? Is it just that we communicate because we want to seem like we matter, or we want to seem maybe we're intelligent, but really Mercury in Taurus and just Taurus overall says no, but when I say I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. And I'm going to follow through on my word. And there's a sense of commitment and loyalty there. So yeah, this new moon may have us planting new seeds to do with these things that I talk about. And even I would say the start of a new cycle here to do with our routines. Taurus energy is such a routine, rhythmic sign. Taurus thrives on that consistency and having a routine to follow because it provides security and comfort. So maybe it's that we will start a new cycle when it comes to a routine and we're going to stick to that routine, maybe for a short period of time, but still it's just showing then these new cycles, these new beginnings to do with these things. Okay, so I feel like I have talked quite a bit about this new moon in Taurus, just looking at these more collective themes. So we'll go in and we will look at the aspects. I hope you are enjoying this so far. Thank you so much for being here. And hello to Lazik. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome. And Josh, welcome. Healing Nature Girl, welcome to you. Ready to start your new life, your life anew at 60. Oh, awesome. Stolas enters Taurus on your solar return. Oh wow, well happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And Josh, yes. Hi Josh. And SP, this new moon is on your birthday. Oh my gosh, happy birthday. So we actually have a couple of solar Taurus in the audience as well. That's awesome. Right. So let's break it down a little bit and go over these aspects. So the sun and moon will sextile Mars and also Neptune. So kind of going back to what I was saying, with Cancer, Pisces, and Taurus being the stars, the key players during this new moon. So, what does this suggest? I would say that this new moon is going to also have us focusing a lot on security, materials, family, home. It could be that it's this moment of, okay, yes, be selfish in terms of, right, what do I need? What do I really need when it comes to my emotional well-being and how that relates to my inner security? And with Mars even being in Cancer, I think the date it entered Cancer was the 25th of March, I believe. Yeah, 27th of March was Saturn into Pisces, 23rd was Pluto to Aquarius, 25th was Mars to Cancer. I'm pretty sure that was the order. So, yeah, that's been a good few weeks where we have experienced this Mars and Cancer energy where we have been asserting ourselves more based upon how we feel. Okay, so thinking about our emotions and even thinking about our intuition. But the thing about the new moon is it will be at 29 degrees. Mars will be there. So this, of course, is a critical degree, and this degree can bring up some apprehension. So it can look at, okay, right, the next step, the next step. We may feel a push. Just excuse me a moment. I need to take a drink of water because I can feel a cough coming a little bit. That's the thing about live streams. You can't just cut the camera. um, Hello, SD. D. So I will not be answering any questions today, though I do answer questions over at the Cosmic Warriors Club, just to let you know. And by questions, I mean like specific questions about your chart. Will it be getting Jupiter on your moon on your birthday on the 19th? Okay, I've got another birthday, Taurus birthday. Happy birthday to you. Loving the live experience. I've unfortunately jumped to the sign aspect in the rebroadcast. I'm not sure what you're referring to. But anyway, so as I say, with the 29 degrees, it could be that we feel this push then. We feel this call to action, a shift. And I would say that with this shift, there is a call to action when it comes to our service. This within itself leads me on to something really significant, and that is to do with this fixed T-square that's approaching. So Mars will enter Leo on the 20th of May. And then as soon as it enters Leo, it will make this T-square then to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius and then Jupiter in Taurus. So I've talked about this T-square over on my video for May 2023 forecast. But this could be where, okay, during the new moon, we can sense that we are being called to stand up for ourselves. We are being called to be brave about what we need, what we want. And the Leo part of it, of course, looks at, okay, the individual, our egos, and being able to come to a place of self-acceptance as well. Um, and yeah, self-assurance is a big Leo theme. And so with Mars and Leo, it's this thing of, okay, I need to consider what I want here and how I can protect myself, how I can defend myself. See, with Pluto and Jupiter, of course, they look at those much more collective themes, especially with Pluto there. Pluto in Aquarius has been bringing up then these big renewals, transformations within societies and groups, within society, within groups, within communities. But then with the Mars opposition to that, I just think that it's going to come to a point where it's decision time. It's decision time about what we need, what we want as individuals. So yeah, I would say that there will be more, of course, unfolding over the next few weeks, but um, the new moon in Taurus will be pointing toward this. Okay, something's coming. But at the same time, consider what you have learned about your actions throughout this transit. What you have really learned, how have you been reflecting on your needs and your desires and your wants? And then planting new seeds to do with emotional security, to do with your spiritual life, your intuition. And if we consider again with financial crisis, these power struggles to do with our security right now, it's very difficult for many of us. I know for myself, I have certainly felt certain impacts within my own life. But yeah, trying times call for patience and compassion. And also I would say that it's reaching this point of recognizing what we can and cannot control, the things that we physically can't control out there. And I guess this is the Neptune part of it. It's like, however chaotic and disruptive it becomes within society, we can't there's only so much we can do, and we can't control the entirety of things. But what we can control is how we perceive things, or how we can regulate our own emotions. But then again, I know that that is much easier said than done. But with the same token, I think with Mars being in Cancer there, and then even with the Taurus energy, it is sort of pointing toward, okay, look toward your loved ones, look toward the people who you care about, who support you, and who you support as well. That's what I'm saying. Trying times call for that compassion and even that patience. And another thing is there is that harmonious blend of both water and earth. So encouraging us here to ground ourselves, to feel through our experiences, listening to our body's needs, paying attention to our intuition. When I reflect here, uh, so to now, and I even look back to a few weeks ago, I am not as worried. I am I'm not as worried. And I think it's because this Mercury retrograde in Taurus and the eclipse also in Scorpio, just it showed me so clearly just how much stress I put myself under. And it was me that was causing that stress. Nobody was putting it on me. I was doing it to myself, but then it was also being able to strip it back and look at the subconscious, look at my psyche. And looking at the psyche then requires looking toward the past, looking at my upbringing, looking at, well, why is it that I am like this today? And how Was I looked after? How was I nurtured? How was I cared for? Again, thinking there about the Mars energy in Cancer. And of course, Mars, it would have been one of the dispositors of that lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Yeah, Mars in Cancer has really been pointing toward those subconscious, would footprints be the word? Like those subconscious marks, even those subconscious scars, and being able then to recognize them, bring awareness to them, and to do something about them. Not just to talk about them, but to actually put practical steps in place to actually turn our lives around in a way that shifts things, in a way that can, support us in a new way. So yeah, new forms of support and being able to break certain cycles. Pluto energy, even, and Scorpio energy is very much about, okay, break the cycle, break the cycle. You've been in this certain cycle for a long time. Maybe you've been blinded or you don't see it. Shadow, all the shadow work that comes with Scorpio. But now it is time. It is time to let that go. And often, often the ending of certain cycles comes without our conscious awareness of them. And also, we may not like it, right? Consider also with Cancer and Taurus, there is this holding on quality to these signs of, I am going to keep holding on, holding on, holding on. But then it's about being able to release. Okay, so then with that being said, looking at our higher calling, our higher meaning, Neptune is very much tied to these things. So perhaps you're someone who believes in a higher self. I am always going to be skeptical when it comes to the higher self. When it comes to anything very, very spiritual, I'm very, very skeptical. I do have my Jupiter in Virgo. But I also like to say that my skepticism is what keeps me wanting to learn more. I'm wanting to investigate and research more. And so if it is that there is such thing as a higher self, then perhaps this Neptune energy is coming along and it's going to help us sort of connect with that part of ourselves, looking at the soul, more of that spiritual connection there. And yeah, considering our higher calling and our higher meaning. Though perhaps a good way to tap into our spiritual selves. I do believe that I have a spiritual life. I do believe that. But a good way to tap into our spiritual selves is through music, art, beauty, pleasure. Self-soothing is a big Taurus thing here. So, yes, the new moon in Taurus may bring up these things. And I think, too, the new moon in Taurus will help us start, or it will help us gain a fresh perspective about things like how we distract ourselves, about escapism, which can be positive or negative when it comes to escapism. So yeah, getting a fresh perspective even about how we retreat, how we go into hiding, and then asking ourselves, what are our emotional clutches? What do we turn to as a way to avoid other things in our lives? Whew. Now that part of it may be quite difficult to assess. And of course, keep in mind there will be that T-square then. So yeah, with the Mars being in Cancer, it's still making a T-square to Jupiter in Taurus, and then that opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So yeah, looking at increased courage perhaps, and then also releasing really, really strong emotions. Yeah, releasing really, really strong emotions there. And then, like I said, there will be the 0 degrees of Jupiter entering Taurus. And that will be just 2 days after Mercury stations direct. So Mercury station direct today, and then in 2 days' time, Jupiter will enter Taurus, and then it'll be on the 19th. So 3 days after Jupiter enters Taurus, the new moon will take place. But like I said, with the Mercury energy, with the post shadow, do make sure to consider, what really came up for you over the last few weeks during Mercury retrograde. I talked about that at the start. And with the 0 degrees, it can look at this very potent energy, very strong energy, new beginnings. And you know what I like about this? What I like about Jupiter entering Taurus is that it's going to help ease that Saturn and Pisces energy. Because if you think about it, one of the dispositors of Pisces is Jupiter, and that has been in Aries from the beginning of 2023. So with Saturn going into Pisces and then Jupiter being in Aries, it's actually been a little bit challenging in its own way, okay? If you think about Aries and Pisces, they're going to be very, very different energies. But you see, with Jupiter entering Taurus, it's going to then make this sextile, not by degree, but by sign. So yeah, that can help then with Jupiter, can help with the easing of Saturn in Pisces, even helping us bring form to our dreams there. And Jupiter in Taurus is also going to add sensuality, comfort, a bit of ease there, more beauty, more pleasure in our lives. Knowledge then tied to food, money, fashion, earthly opportunities to do with karma as well. And then the moon will be sort of expanding commitment and loyalty, helping us even improve our skills. And what I further want to say is just remember what came up for you during the Mercury retrograde in Taurus, because Jupiter is now coming along and it's going to kind of expand all of that. It's going to expand it. And then it's also thinking about the bigger picture, having a bigger picture mindset about wealth and materials and our inner security, all that good stuff. Even having more positive thoughts, which can help us achieve amazing results. Now, that is not to say that all will be perfect and amazing with Jupiter and Taurus. Okay, in fact, we're going to be off to a really rocky start. Yes, there's even more information that I want to share to do with Mars and Leo, and then even Venus. Venus will enter Leo in June. I think it's the 5th of June. And then it's going to make that opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And then even thinking about this grand cross between the fixed signs and T-squares between the fixed signs. So yeah, there's still gonna be a bit of a rocky start with Jupiter entering Taurus. So for example, Jupiter, the North Node, and then Mercury square Pluto retrograde too. So yeah, looking at collective change, but thinking about the power of our voices when it comes to collective change, when it comes to these intense transformations, these intense collective transformations. Yeah, just remember the power of your voice, the power of even learning as well, the power of thoughts too. Okay, so yeah, if you do want more information about Jupiter and Taurus, of course, you can head on over to the Cosmic Warriors Club. And then there's also that video available about Jupiter and Taurus on my channel. All right, so more. Of course, there will be more information to come out as well to do with Venus entering Leo and everything. So like I was saying earlier. All right, so the dispositor of this new moon is Venus. So Venus will be in Cancer during this new moon. So this new moon it's a time of emotional support, comfort, sensitivity, nurturing others. So nurturing our relationships. What value do we place upon our relationships? I actually talked about this Venus in Cancer transit over at the Cosmic Warriors Club as well, with the different aspects. Yeah, so I would say that there are big themes here to do with how we feel within our relationships. And another thing as well is protection. With Cancer energy, it looks at feeling safe and secure and protected. So you'll find that when it comes to Cancerian energy, that when you get to know someone with Cancerian energy and then they start to open up, this is them coming out of their shell, but they come out of their shell because they feel secure. They feel like, you know what? I can trust this person, or this person has shown me that they care about me and they love me. But then there's also the part of Cancer where you can retreat, so they can retreat whenever they feel like they've been hurt or somebody has annoyed them or upset them. So with Venus in Cancer, we could be doing this little cha-cha move, with the crab, right? The side step. Yeah, so it can go and it can fluctuate, right? Cancer's also moody. Moody Cancer. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that during this new moon, I do think with the new moon being in Taurus, even the sun and the moon in Taurus, it's like, right, grinding energy, dependable, patient, loyal energy. But then Venus in Cancer, yes, very loyal and committed to, but the Venus in Cancer energy is saying just ride the waves, okay? Go with through those motions. There will be fluctuations perhaps, and also you may feel this need to protect your heart, to protect yourself. But there will also be these moments of, I feel really good here. I feel safe. I feel supported. I feel seen. And then I also think as well, of course, if we think about Venus tied to our finances, our security, it's looking at protecting what we own, protecting our belongings. Though Uranus will make that sextile to Venus in Cancer. So looking at these outside of the box ideas, even thinking about Mercury there, these outside of the box ideas regarding our comforts and our security, new ways of approaching family and home, seeking alternatives, exciting, surprising relationship experiences. Whew. It could be that things are so chaotic and out of the blue. This could even look like an out of the blue heart to heart, or an out of the blue romantic gesture, or out of the blue um, type of nurturance or support from somebody where it's like, oh, wow, I didn't expect that. That's so nice. Or, oh, wow, I did not expect that. And I'm going the other way here. So, yeah, expect the unexpected when it comes to Uranus energy, especially if we think about Mercury. It looks like communication. So, this could look like empathetic communication, and this could look like surprising communication, just saying things. But again, there's this out of the blue part of it. But that out of the blue part of it comes with this valuable insight. It comes with this inner calm, and just even speaking from a place of love and affection and appreciation and honesty. This new moon in Taurus can even welcome in enjoyable connections, even feeling good from within and feeling aligned with others in a whole new way. And I just, I'm just thinking about this. Like, I'm getting all of these sort of visions in my head when I think about it. And it just feels so nice, especially because, right, if you think of how there was the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and then one of the dispositors of that eclipse was in Cancer, right? So it traveled through Cancer, and then Venus comes along and starts to travel through that track. And it says, whatever intense things came up for you during that lunar eclipse, I know it felt really challenging and like you were dying on the inside. I know, but I'm going to come along here with Venus and Cancer, and I'm going to help you through this. It's okay. I've got you. I've got you. You're supported. You're safe. You're cared for. Recognize how much you're cared for. Recognize that, certain family members love you or your friends appreciate you. And I even think as well with Mercury retrograde and with Venus being in Cancer since the 7th of May, nostalgia has been so freaking huge. Mercury Mercury retrograde, along with Venus in Cancer, just brought up so much nostalgia, so much just reminiscing, like, oh, the good old days, looking back on the past, thinking about what was. Now, of course, an issue with that is that we can often romanticize the past. We can sort of make it out to be so much better than what it actually was, and we can sort of even fixate on the good things whilst turning a blind eye to the reality of things, even if we consider Neptune thrown into the mix here as well. Um, but yeah, so I just think that that week, especially from the 7th of May to the 14th today, there's been a lot of nostalgia and reminiscing, and maybe it's that you yourselves have reconnected with loved ones, or maybe it's that people from the past have come up, and it's kind of funny because when we think about Mercury retrograde, we think about, oh, that ex is going to message you, don't take the bait, don't take the bait. But I also think that when it comes to Mercury retrograde, people coming back from the past can kind of times be a good thing. I think it's about discretion, right? It's about using discretion. But anyway, I digress. Feeling aligned with others in a new way is quite possible um, during this new moon. Okay, and then also Saturn sextile Mercury. So, like I was saying earlier, this can bring form to our dreams and our desires. There can even be this focus. So, during this new moon with that sextile, there can be this focus when it comes to the things that we wish to achieve in regards to our dreams, our desires, our values, etc. Good focus and concentration. Okay. And then let me see. I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last part of the aspects that I want to talk about. And this is quite a sensitive one because Chiron in Aries will make that square to Venus in Cancer. So, this, of course, can be a healing time, but it can also look at possible triggers, being triggered by loved ones, being triggered by family members. See, we got to think of the flip side of the whole good old days, reminiscing, people from the past coming back, these types of things. We got to look at the flip side and think here about how we're not perfect humans and about how many people have challenging relationships with family, with loved ones. And I can't help but think that this new moon will bring up these sort of family wounds, okay? And even these emotional security wounds. So this doesn't just have to be, thinking here about the family that we were born into, but the family that we choose, perhaps, or even the friends that we make, or the people that we become really, really close to. So, yeah, looking at past wounds, looking at the unconscious. What is it, within our psyches, within our emotional body that's trapped, or what needs to be sort of released or moved so it can, so we can heal, so we can move forward, perhaps. But again, not everything can be healed, if you think about it, and there are certain subconscious things that are so buried deep, and it's not just this black and white thing either. So again, just use discernment and think about the nuances to what I'm saying as well, but really considering here inner reflection and how that inner reflection perhaps can lead to greater awareness and greater discovery. And then with Mars, of course, that is the dispositor of Chiron being in Aries. So this could look like our energy levels and our self assertion being influenced by our wounds, by our healing. Maybe this new moon is calling for some of us just to quiet ourselves, just to try our very best to slow down, And if we need to sort of ask for support, if we need some time to ourselves, it's being able to take that time, being able to reach out to ask for that support. And I do think that with Saturn trine Venus, this can look at loyalty and duty and commitment. It can point toward, okay, there are certain people in our lives who we can turn to help us through anything challenging, anything very emotional. But then you can even look at this as, okay, spiritual awareness, and emotional grounding exercises, doing things for ourselves, practicing tenderness, thinking about self care, being receptive, being open, surrendering. That's a big Saturn in Pisces theme. Slow breaths, staying in the now, being in the present, surrounding yourself with good people, really good people, quality people. And of course, considering all of those Pisces themes of dream, imagine, relax, escape. Like I said, the key players during this new moon will be Taurus, Pisces, and Cancer. So it's going to be a very grounding new moon, but also quite emotional. And then, like I was saying, even in the title, the prosperity. So considering how Jupiter will be in Taurus there at 0 degrees. Yes, nostalgia, definitely, definitely. Hello, everyone new who have joined. But with that being said, let's get into your horoscope. So I do want to remind you of the Cosmic Warriors Club one more time, cosmicwarriorsclub.com. If you're interested in joining, you can go over there. There's a lot of information up to do with transits and horoscopes and everything. But yes, I will put the timestamps as well at the very end. So just stay with me, be patient with me whilst I do all that after. So, Aries, this new moon in Taurus will play out in your second house of resources, earning skills. Okay, what can I say about this? Yeah, basically, here, Aries, fresh perspectives when it comes to earning, when it comes to your spending habits, budgeting, what do you spend your money on? How do you earn your money? Really gaining a fresh perspective, a fresh outlook, and new beginnings to do with your resources. And even thinking about here, what is valuable to you? What is meaningful to you? Especially with that Jupiter energy, of course, coming into Taurus and just expanding all of this for you. And then also starting a new cycle in respect of your skills. Maybe there's a new skill that you wish to develop, or there is a current skill that you have and you want to refine it more or get better. Also, I would say as well with this, looking at becoming more quiet here in respect of your self-worth, really going inward, really just taking a moment, right? Taurus energy is like, okay, ground yourself in the present, go inward, practice gratitude, practice appreciation, but really reflect upon your self-worth. Truly reflect on that in terms of the value of yourself, in terms of what you value. And then even looking at how committed you are to your skills or to your ways of earning. Okay, Taurus. This means that the new moon will take place in your first house. Okay, so this looks like you, Taurus, planting new seeds when it comes to your aims and your ambitions, especially with Jupiter entering Taurus as well. It could be that there is a new beginning for you, like huge, a new horizon here to do with your identity, to do with your appearance, to do with a new sort of goal of yours that you wish to obtain. It could even be that you really take a moment to reflect upon the next step. What do you want to build? And when you do build, you're going to be gradual, you're going to be methodical and thorough. I mean, this is you. We are talking about Taurus. And then I also think this could be where you have this fresh outlook, this positive, fresh outlook about your life, or just looking at this new direction, this new path that you are so incredibly excited about. Okay. And then I would also say here for you, Taurus, this could be where you enter this new cycle, these new beginnings to do with your life path overall. Now, I want to mention quickly here too, just remember, folks, just remember that there will be the lunar eclipse in Taurus happening in October. So, of course, we'll talk more about that at the time, but just keep in mind that lunar eclipse because it's going to be really quite strong then. But this is still an opportunity to think about, okay, new chapters, new intentions, new beginnings here to do with these Taurus themes. Okay, Gemini. So this new moon in Taurus will take place in your 12th house. So, firstly, what I would say with this is this is an opportunity for you to really become calm and quiet behind the scenes, to go inward, to do a lot of reflection, to even look at healing, renewal, revitalizing your energy, so recharging, needing time to retreat, planting new seeds when it comes to how you retreat. And that, of course, can correlate with feelings of calm and ease and gaining a fresh perspective about relaxation. So, yeah, that fresh perspective could be where you recognize the importance of relaxation, the importance of being able to quiet your mind. Of course, Gemini, this is you. You're so heady, right? You can be so up here a lot of the time. So maybe Taurus in the 12th is kind of coming along and it's saying, okay, let's get you into the body. Let's get you practicing more of the spiritual things. Of course, Jupiter in Taurus will amplify all of this, will expand a lot of this for you, and even give you a new, fresh perspective about your philosophies, about knowledge, about your spiritual life. Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. Okay, so Cancer, this new moon will take place in your 11th house. So, looking at your clubs, alliances, and so on. Right. So, this could be where there is this fresh perspective to do with your alliances, to do with clubs, and even thinking about the appreciation that you have toward your teams, your groups, your friendships, and feeling even quite strongly about them, and considering what it is that you're growing when it comes to your clubs and alliances. And I would also say with this, considering that sort of slow process to do with your hopes and your visions. So looking at your future aims here, maybe it is that there are certain things that you wish to kind of achieve, so to speak, or there's a certain hope that you have for the future, is a better way to put it. But it's about being slow, methodical, calm, and not feeling a need to rush or push necessarily. But it's like, right, okay, this is a new cycle, this is a new beginning, and things are going to blossom when they blossom. And maybe even thinking here about the value that you place upon certain organizations that you're a part of, values that you place upon certain alliances that you're a part of. Yeah, I would say here, planting new seeds here to do with teams and clubs. Okay, so Leo, this new moon will take place in your 10th house. Okay, Leo, I see this as your reputation. What just sort of came to my mind there with Jupiter even being in Taurus, your reputation expanding. So reaching more people or even gaining some type of promotion or gaining a new achievement, your achievements expanding with Jupiter there. That just came to my mind with Jupiter and Taurus for you. But still the new moon is sort of saying, right, okay, planting new seeds here to do with your achievements and your accomplishments, thinking about, okay, what do I want to achieve really? And taking that step by step process, being calculated or methodical about it, and taking your time as well. And I also see this as you, so becoming quite quiet. So looking at this inner part of it with the moon, so inner reflection when it comes to what feels successful for you. What accumulates to success? What's the meaning of success for you truly? And going through that introspection and perhaps even gaining a fresh perspective, a fresh outlook about success or about achievement. And also perhaps looking at planting new seeds to do with the types of relationships that you have with managers or bosses or members of authority. So there's just a couple of things, but I do feel the need to step back a little bit here because my trail of thought has been with the Jupiter and Taurus energy, and I didn't say that for Cancer. So for you, Cancer, even with the Jupiter and Taurus energy, of course, that will then bring this fortune toward your clubs and alliances. So this could even be where they grow. They grow, or you feel blessed, you feel quite hopeful or lucky when it comes to the friendships and clubs that you're a part of. Just wanted to add that. Virgo, 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 Virgo. So this new moon will take place in your ninth house. All right, so I would say here, Virgo, that this is about you starting a new cycle when it comes to training. Any advanced training, any higher education, any further knowledge, starting something new here, a new cycle here. And yeah, basically changing things up in a way where you wish to experience greater feelings of ease, greater feelings of contentment, and then even the ways in which you share, right? How you share, how you teach. You already do this in practical ways, but I think the new moon is going to give you this new perspective in a way, or it's that you will have this new perspective during this new moon and you plant new seeds even in regards to travel. I mean, so this could be where it's like, right, okay, I really, really want to save to go to a new destination. I know for myself, so I have a Virgo rising, and I really, really would love to go to Tokyo. I would love to go to Japan, just in general. Japan, Japan. I would love to go back to Egypt as well. Yeah, so just dreaming of those places. But basically, here, Virgo, this could be where you set new intentions to do with travel, and with Jupiter entering Taurus over the next year. Perhaps you actually will travel. You'll actually take that flight, or it's that you will join some new higher educational program. Okay, Libra. So, Libra, this new moon will take place in your eighth house. So, thinking here about joint resources, joint finances. I think straight off the bat here, it looks at Jupiter in. So, Jupiter in Taurus, that can suggest then this growth, this expansion to do with joint resources or finances. So, thinking about those investments, thinking about even debt as well, and maybe it's that you will accumulate more debt in a way, but in a beneficial way, like in a positive in a positive way, or it's that you will even plant new seeds to do with something you wish to obtain in a joint financial way here. Another thing would be gaining a fresh perspective about intimacy. Maybe it's that you will learn a lot about what it means to be intimate, what it means to be vulnerable, and you're also going to put these practical steps in place. Okay. And then another thing I want to say with you, Libra, is starting a new cycle to do with transformation. So this could be where you recognize a part of yourself that can be stagnant or stubborn, or a part of yourself that can really hold on. And then this new moon will give you an opportunity to kind of embrace something new here to do with these parts of yourself. And then with Jupiter entering Taurus, there will be this opportunity for you to shift things. This could even look like something quite obsessive or compulsive, or a certain shadow part of yourself that finds it hard to change something. But I think, yes, Taurus energy can still be stubborn, but I think with Jupiter, it's giving this sort of push to learn something more, or to kind of grow in a way, to even grow outside of your comfort zone a little bit. But yeah, the new moon, I think, will help with these new beginnings. Okay, Scorpio. So the new moon in Taurus will take place in your seventh house. So this looks like, okay, with Jupiter being in Taurus, expansion when it comes to relationships. I mean, you may get more clients, you may get more customers, and you may even seek greater feelings of ease and contentment when it comes to relationships. Maybe your partner even comes into a lot of money, or or your partner even has this more excited outlook on life where it's like, right, let's travel, let's explore, let's do things together, let's yeah, let's go to different countries together, or let's learn something new together. So there could be that, but then I think even with the new moon in Taurus coming into your sign, it's giving an opportunity for you to plant new seeds in respect of business deals, contracts. Maybe you'll even consider kind of like a partnership, this business partnership with someone, but someone who you really value, or a few people who you really value. And then I think even thinking about relationships overall, this could be where you gain a fresh perspective about relationships, not just in terms of how other people are within relationships, but also the ways in which you show up. So what parts of you can be stubborn, or what parts of you can hold on to things, or even the parts of you that can be quite possessive at times. So yeah, looking at, okay, what can I do differently here, or what's the fresh perspective I can gain about myself here within my relationships. Okay, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, this new moon will take place in your sixth house. So I see this as you really reflecting upon your daily habits, your routines, just taking a time to think about, okay, do I feel do I feel at ease here? Or is it that I'm causing a lot of stress in my life? Is it that there's stress in my life where it's just not needed? I can kind of relate to this in a way, Sagittarius. I don't have Sagittarius in my top three. I don't even have any Sagittarius placements. But it just looks like you really assessing for a moment, right? Okay, what needs to kind of be shifted in a way in terms of stress, thinking about your health, your stress levels, and getting a new perspective, or planting new seeds to do with your health, because you need something to shift so that you can feel healthier, you can feel better, you can feel more content. And that's the thing with Jupiter entering Taurus in your sixth house. It could be that you seek further knowledge to do with health, even further knowledge to do with task organization, to do with your daily habits, your schedules, your routines. So considering what can be adjusted in a way, but in a way that you get to a place of, okay, this is more consistent, this is more steady for me. And then another thing I want to mention with you, Sagittarius, is let's think about just service and your working life in general here with the sixth house. Perhaps it's that you then start a new cycle in respect of your working life, your services. And again, these things are tied to that greater security, stability, considering um, how dependable things are for you. Capricorn. So, Capricorn, the new moon in Taurus will take place in your fifth house. All right. So, I think here, with Jupiter even entering your fifth house over the next year or so, Capricorn, this could look like, greater joy and happiness, right? Even just feeling like good about what you're creating, feeling uplifted about any children that you have, just really experiencing bliss and joy and pleasure and wanting to do the things that you genuinely enjoy. And then with the new moon in Taurus, it's saying, right, I am getting a new perspective about the things that are blissful and joyous to me. I am getting a new perspective about the things that I deem as pleasurable. And I'm also planting new seeds to do with my creativity. So, yeah, there could even be where it's this new cycle coming up here, these new beginnings coming up here to do with your hobbies and with Taurus even being there in your fifth house Capricorn, often your hobbies are tied to things like beauty, fashion, art. Perhaps you are very creative people in this way. You even just love to do things in this creative yet consistent way. There's a level of consistency when it comes to your creativity. And yeah, maybe it's that you'll even gain a new perspective about your creativity and what your talents are in respect of your creativity, what your skills are in respect of your creativity. Yeah, a new perspective and also new beginnings to do with these things. Aquarius. So, Aquarius, this new moon in Taurus will take place in your fourth house. So, thinking here about firstly, your emotional security. Okay, so how you feel, looking at your emotional needs, what you need in order to feel comfortable, secure, and safe. And so, with this being said, the new moon, I think, will help you gain a fresh perspective about these very things. And then, even looking at new beginnings tied to home, family, your living situation. And if we consider how Jupiter has entered Taurus in your fourth house, this could be where there are these future aspirations that you have in respect of property or housing, or maybe it's that you wish to, yeah, you wish to save for a house, or it's that you wish to move out of the house that you're currently in and into somewhere that's more comfortable, more secure for you. Or it's that even there will be this greater expansion to your family. So looking at children or even looking at new members being added to your family. But the new moon in Taurus is coming along and it's saying, okay, just reflect on these family matters. Reflect on your emotional needs and how safe and supported you feel from within yourself. And also take a moment just to go into your private life and consider, what it is that you wish to keep private and what it is that you wish to share with others. This could even be where you start a new sort of cycle to do with what you enjoy doing within the home. So, in terms of what you like to do, um, so thinking about how you wish to relax is a better way to put it. Yeah, thinking about how you wish to relax within the home. And so, new beginnings, new cycles to do with these things. And lastly, Pisces. So, Pisces, this new moon in Taurus will happen in your third house. So, firstly, let's think about Jupiter in Taurus for a moment and how that can suggest, okay, you feeling more hopeful or positive about communication. And that can be in a verbal, non-verbal way. But yeah, feeling more positive about communication, feeling even like, you know what, that discussion was quite good, or like, um, I enjoyed that discussion with that other person. I got a lot from that. Or even you learning a lot more, right? If you think about how the third house is tied to education. So, yeah, you could be even deciding to learn a lot more over the next year or so. So, gaining more facts, more information. And then with the new moon coming along in your third house, perhaps it's that you plant new seeds then to do with education, or you plant new seeds to do with your mindset. So having more of this calmer, steady mindset. I know that you do have Taurus there in the third house already, Pisces, but the new moon is like, right, okay, let's try to set new intentions here. What about gaining a fresh perspective about my mindset, or about your mindset? Sorry. Yeah, a fresh perspective about your mindset. And even considering here, um, just yeah, feeling more at ease in terms of the thoughts that you have. And even thinking here too about the types of conversations that you have with classmates or with your siblings or with your cousins, and just, yeah, being thoughtful about those discussions, or even just gaining so much knowledge from those discussions, and slowly but surely, integrating them or learning the lessons to do with those discussions. Yeah, I think this is like a good way for you to become very clear about conversation and about communication and learning, Pisces. Okay, so that is all of the horoscopes for the new moon in Taurus. Thank you so, so much for listening, everyone. I'm so, so glad that you were here today. And I just want to remind you that you can go to the cosmicwarriorsclub.com for more information about horoscopes and transits and everything. And then there are also my services available at hannahselsewhere.com. There you can find my practical astrology ebooks guide, merch, all that good stuff. And if you did enjoy this live stream today, then you can buy me a coffee. There is the link down below. That would be much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this live stream today, regardless. And yes, I just want to say here quickly, the creator, hi, hello. That was a long time ago, but I just want to say hello to everyone. Hello, Iman. Music, hi. And Jason, yes, I said hello to you already, I think, but you've definitely reflected on your past and releasing old wounds. Okay. Yeah, it's not easy energy to work with, when it comes to our wounds. And Martin, hello. Thanks for sharing your time. Of course, of course. Happy to help, happy to be here. And hello, DeAndre. We're just at the end of this live stream. But basically, folks, that is me. Thank you so, so much for being here. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, everyone. Thank you, DeAndre. That's really, really lovely. I hope that you find this video to be helpful, everybody. And again, make sure that you give this video a like if you did like it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I think that is basically me, but I will be back with another video very, very soon. Okay, have a lovely Sunday, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.